Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. Um, oh, I've got my house decorated for fall now. Once I get everything done and picked up after doing everything, I will show you my little house. Yes, I will. I'll show you each room. But yeah, it feels so good now. My house feels so cozy. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited. But yeah, it made me feel better because my little grandson Jack spent the night, Monday night, and it was wonderful. He was so adorable. He's 6, and the first thing he wanted to do when we woke up Tuesday morning was go to Dollar Tree because he loves to pick out toys, and that's Grandma's treat to him every time, and McDonald's for lunch. Because his parents don't let him eat McDonald's except when he comes here as a treat from Grandma. So he knows when he comes to Grandma's he gets to get McDonald's, otherwise he never gets it. So it's a big treat to him, which made me so happy. Oh, you should have seen him while he was eating the little cheeseburger in the kids' meal. Oh my God, he was like, oh, this is so good, Grandma, this is so good. I'm gonna slam it, and he did. Man, he ate that thing so fast. He was like, this is so good, Grandma. Yeah, you know how it is with that junk food. It is good. But he enjoys that treat terribly. I mean, he's just like, you would have thought I was taking him to get the biggest gourmet meal in the world when I said, okay, let's go to McDonald's and get lunch. He was like, yes, you know. I was like, wow. So we both enjoyed. I got a green chili cheeseburger. I take the bun off because I can't eat the wheat, so I just ate the meat. So yeah, that was enjoyable. So waking up yesterday morning, it was like, oh, he's not here. Oh my God, Tuesday morning he woke me up at 6 something in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, it's dark, it's cold. But he was like, hi, Grandma. He walks in my room and it's it's dark. And I was like, hi, baby. I said, and it was so cool and so dark. I said, get in bed with Grandma. And he goes, okay. So he runs in to get in bed with me, and we just snuggled for about the next hour. Just snuggled in bed, and he just talked and talked and talked about everything. It was so nice to snuggle up with my little grandson and just talk about everything. So yeah, so yesterday when I woke up, it was like, oh, he's not here, you know. And my daughter and her husband came over and visited, you know, when they picked him up Tuesday. They visited for a while, and they got me Taco Bell. Oh my God, I was so excited. Junk food 2 days in a row. I never do that anymore, ever. And oh, that Taco Bell taco was so delicious. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I had literally stopped eating Taco Bell for decades and decades because it used to give me severe diarrhea. Yeah, sorry, but it did. And I decided to try it one time with my daughter, and it didn't bother me. So this time I was like, yeah, I'll take Taco Bell. So they got me Taco Bell. And it was delicious, what can I say? Yeah, it'll be a long time before I touch that again. But it's nice, you know, when you eat healthy all the time and then you go for that junk stuff, it's good, let's be honest. Well, a lot of that junk food tastes amazing. But so yeah, that was my treat for quite a while. But oh, it was enjoyable. And he's so cute. He draws me pictures, and oh, it was just enjoyable to have my little guy over. It really was. But anyway, I just want to talk about a subject that I think a lot of you may be able to relate to, and that's in-laws that don't accept you, really don't accept you. Tell me if any of you have had that, or not necessarily through marriage, but maybe whoever you're dating or living with, their parents don't or didn't accept you. That was my case. With my first marriage, I was 18, and the mother, she was not good to me. She just was not good to me. There was racism involved too, because I am Spanish and he was not. He was Caucasian. And I could see the racism there. It was very clear, and she was not good to me. She always made me feel so uncomfortable in her home. I never felt like I belonged ever in that household. He was my first husband's father. He was, I don't know, mediocre. He would make me feel comfortable, somewhat comfortable at times, but I never really felt comfortable, and it was very hard. You know, when you don't feel comfortable, when you don't feel that you're accepted by your, you know, your partner's parents, it makes it very, very hard, and you just don't feel like you belong to the family. And it was hard, and you know, I was so young then. My gosh, we were only married 3 years. I got married at 18. I was so young, and I just never felt like I belonged in that family at all. And it didn't help that my ex-husband, my first husband, was, you know, he was drunk, and then he was abusive to me when he felt like it. Very abusive, hitting, punching, that type of thing. So that didn't help. But in their eyes, he did no wrong. You know, he did no wrong. And so that was rough. And then I was divorced for 5 years and then got remarried. Well, his parents, oh my gosh, his father, I'll never understand it. You know, when you try to be as nice as you can to somebody, and you just try to be kind to them and nice to them, right? You just want to be accepted, and you're polite, and you're kind, and you're respectful. It didn't matter what I did. With my second set of in-laws, it was just a case of the father barely spoke to me. I mean, barely. And the mother always was bringing up my then husband's ex-wife. She would somehow bring her up all in some way or another. And I got so tired of it. It was like, okay, you know, I don't really need to hear about her anymore. Thanks anyway. It's like, that's over, that's done, that's past. I don't need to hear about her all the time. And it was sad because in my second marriage, when our children were born, they basically had nothing to do with them. We would visit them when we could, and then comments would be made that were very hurtful, and there's nothing I could do about it. It was very, very hurtful, and it just made me feel like I did not look out in the in-law pool. I did not look out, and the father, he was just so cold. He was just, I don't know how to explain it. He was just cold. I'd go, you know, we'd go in there, my ex-husband and I, we would walk in, you know, and hi, how are you, you know, and he'd just give that kind of, okay, type of thing. He was not kind. He just was not. And the mother, I don't even know how to describe it. She acted like she was just tolerating me and wish he was, and wish her son was with his first husband, or his first wife. That's how I felt. The way she kept bringing her up would hurt so much. I'm like, I do not care about her. I do not want to hear about her. I don't want to hear any more about her. I got so sick of it. That'd be like if one of my sons came over here with their significant other, their girlfriend, and I sit here talking about past girlfriends all the time, bringing up how she did this and she did that, and oh yeah, she this and she that. Well, that's what it was like. And I got so tired of it. It was like, oh my God. So I just was not truly accepted by my in-laws. And in the second marriage, which lasted 22 years, oh my God, I can't believe I stayed with such an abusive man for so long, but older and wiser, I guess. But yeah, it makes it so hard. And then when we would go to my second husband's, I'll be talking about my second husband now. When we'd go to his parents' house, if family came over or whatever, the family just, they acted like I was invisible. I mean, literally invisible. And I would sit there like, what the hell, you know? Especially when I was, when my daughter was just a baby. She was probably about 8, 9 months old, something like that. And we were visiting, and their family was there. Well, there was a relative there who had had a lot of trouble having children. And she finally adopted, they finally adopted a child. And this child was German with blonde hair, blue eye, fair skin, you know, that type of thing. And then she miraculously got pregnant. Well, she was, of course, they were so excited that she got pregnant and ended up having her own baby. Well, while we're there for Christmas time, she's sitting there telling my ex-mother-in-law how disappointed she was that her little girl was born with brown eyes. And I was like, I'm sitting there with my little girl who has dark brown hair, brown eyes, and my mother-in-law is like, oh yeah, I understand. I thought she'd get, I think his name was Frank. She said, I thought the baby would get Frank's beautiful blue eyes, but oh well. Imagine, that's the kind of stuff I had to listen to in that family. And then the grandmother, she was odd. She was very, very odd. She would sit there, I don't know, she just had one of these personalities where you just did not like her, you know what I mean? She just had one of those personalities. So it was very difficult. I wasn't lucky enough to have in-laws who just accepted me, welcomed me, and loved me. Not at all. Not one bit. And to sit there and have somebody sit there complaining that their child, who after miscarriage and couldn't get pregnant and had to adopt a child to have a child, and then does get pregnant and then complains that the child had brown eyes, freaked me out. I was like, the last thing I ever cared about when I was pregnant was what color they were going to be, hair, eyes, or skin. All I cared about was please let them be healthy as can be. And luckily all my children, all 5 of them were born very healthy. So I considered myself very, very lucky to have that many, and they were all born healthy. I mean, it's a risk. The more you have, you never know. You never know what you're going to get, right? So in my mind it was always, I'm just happy that my kids are healthy. That's all I cared about, nothing else. So yeah, I put up with all these little comments. Like my first husband, I'll talk about him. Well, his mother, she too would casually mention his ex-girlfriend, who was not Spanish, who was Caucasian. She too would casually make a comment here and there, and I was like, damn, you know. And it hurt. I was so young then. I was like 18, 19. And it hurt. And I thought, man, what kind of people. I would never do that. I would never, with my children, I would never sit and chit-chat about an ex to them with their partners. I would never do that unless they brought it up for some reason, which none of my kids do. None of my kids sit and chat about their exes, their ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend. Nobody does that, but I had to tolerate it. I had to tolerate it in both marriages, and I'll never understand it. I truly won't, because it was very hurtful. The first picture I got of my daughter when she was a baby, she had dark brown hair, her little brown eyes, and her picture came out beautiful. It was her first picture. You know how you get a professional one done. First one. I was so excited to take the picture to show my second husband's family, and his mother looks at it and goes, oh, well, with her darker hair, it's a shame you have a dark background. And I went, what? And she goes, it would have been better if you'd have had a lighter background. That was what I got for my little daughter's first picture. I was like, what? I remember sitting there. That's the excitement you have to show for your first and only granddaughter's picture. Yeah, that's how kind she was. Instead of, you know, like when my daughter brings me a picture, and when my son and Elliot gave me a picture of their little one, I was like, oh my God, because it's adorable. You know, you look at it and you go, oh my God, they look so cute or whatever. No, I got that. The background should have been lighter. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you loved the picture. So yeah, tell me about your stories of in-laws or your partner's family that doesn't or didn't accept you, what you went through, because it does make it difficult in a relationship. It really does. So anyway, guys, just wanted to chat with you about that, because it's one of those things that can really affect a relationship, and through the years it can really affect it. I know, I got to experience it. So anyway, take care, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. I gotta go shower, wash my hair, and look at my beautiful home all fall decorated. So take care, guys. Oh, and I've got my candles burning that smell like fall from my son Elliot and his girlfriend Becca. They have a candle business. I've got 2 of them going. My house smells like fall. It's beautiful. Take care, guys. See you in the next video. Da, 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 da. Move, baby. Move, baby.